All right, hey folks, everything new under the sun. It is election day in the United States. I would suggest everybody be prepared, even in Canada. Maybe if your gas tank is only sitting at half, maybe a good time to go fill it up. We don't know what's going to happen. And why am I concerned about U.S. politics when I'm a Canadian? Well, the United States is the world reserve currency holder. They are the world leading nation currently, the current superpower. So anything that happens there is going to affect the rest of the world in some fashion at some point. And the biggest potential immediate reaction is going to be Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, the wars there based on who gets in. So this is significant. Now, as I mentioned, I was expecting some sort of strike, either by Iran on Israel, although Iran was upset last time that China didn't come to its aid, Russia didn't come to its aid, or that Israel would strike Iran before the U.S. elections. That hasn't happened yet, but the state of alert has been increased. This is a story from JPost, November 4th. IDF heightened state of alert in anticipation of Iranian response. Now, some big things have happened in Israel, by the way. Yoav Gallant has been fired. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But this is breaking news, really. This is World Israel News. Gantz pressures Netanyahu. Israel must be ready to destroy Iranian nukes. So Gantz is pressuring Netanyahu, and it may be that Yoav Gallant was not, in this case, supporting Netanyahu. This is a post by some particular person. A civil war in Israel. Major protests in Israel after firing of Yoav Gallant. Yoav Gallant has been fired by Netanyahu. Now, the suggestion is by this particular person that Gallant stood in the way between Netanyahu and a massive strike on the regime in Iran. He was Biden's voice in the Israeli government. So Gallant was apparently Biden's voice in the Israeli government. I don't know that to be true, but that's a speculation here. He's now gone. Committee should sweat a little. If this is true, and Gallant was preventing a larger strike, it may be that Netanyahu is going to install someone who is more on his side, and will then go after it. So this is X. Go on X, and you can search for Yoav Gallant and see what's happening. Lots of news about that. So anyways, I think this is very interesting, and it could very well be that indeed this was political positioning, not only for the potential incoming Trump administration, but also for a larger strike on Iran, and that Israel is kind of laying the groundwork to do something else. Certainly Netanyahu is. And Netanyahu has been very, very strong against Gaza, against Hezbollah, against the enemies of Israel, and against Iran generally. And so it makes sense that, if he is firing Gallant, maybe because Gallant isn't going far enough. That would make sense to me. So things are stirring in Israel. Things are changing. As well, we have quite literally the world-changing event of the U.S. presidential elections, which will be counted tonight. So we're going to see where it goes. If Trump gets in, I think you're going to see riots by the left. You're going to have BLM riots all over again. Remember that happened during Trump's administration? If you get Harris, you probably won't have riots. You'll get the same old. You'll get same old downward hill economy, corrupt government, but a corrupt government that kind of keeps the people, the citizens, dumbed down and quiet. It's true with the Harris administration. You will get a quieter life, to be honest. But that's because the country is marching towards economic collapse and World War III. If you get Trump in there, you're going to get some uprising. You're going to get some hate. You're going to get some riots. You're going to get lots of protests. But at the same time, you're going to have a government who is trying to fix the economy and who is trying to get the country out of World War III. So you choose what you want. Do you want to live fat, dumb, and happy and clueless? Or do you want to do the hard work and get a government in that's going to give people a haircut and maybe make it tougher for some, but ultimately right the wrongs, at least from my point of view, in the United States. And then as we look to Canada, Trudeau, one of the more hated governments, or at least people, prime ministers in the history of Canada, and he is on the way out too. 20% ratings for Prime Minister Trudeau, who's now going after the Alberta government, and now the Alberta government is standing up against him. It looks like civil war potentially could come to Canada. We're getting to that point. People are getting fed up with the status quo and the corrupt governments who are doing things in the name of climate change and padding their pockets and working with dictatorship countries like China to just do political things and being part of the World Economic Forum and all these things and trying to bring in digital currencies. We know these eventually will come because the Bible describes a time when they do come. But as citizens, I believe the people of Canada and the United States actually are generally, in a majority sense, on the same page. We don't want things to keep marching like they are. We want a more conservative government and a sustainable economy. We want jobs. In many ways, we want the same thing. And so both countries seem to be going that way, but we'll see how tonight turns out. Be prepared. Always be prepared. Always keep your head on a swivel. There are race riots breaking out in Canada, actually, in Brampton, in Vancouver. If you live in big city centers, look out for those things. You could get caught in the middle of them and quite literally be killed, like someone you normally see on the news, in other countries. This is coming to Canada. This is coming to the United States. And you need to keep your nose out of that. Play it safe. Play the gray man. Be prepared for all instances. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.